Hi, I'm just with Canine Perspective, and we're here with Moose, who is a 2-week board and train that's with us. Today's his first day, and he's muzzled because he has 2 bites, one on the dog and one on a person, but both of them seem to be around territorial behavior as they were both with entry into the yard. So we're gonna feel him out. So he came with the mesh muzzle. We swapped that out. He's on an extended wear muzzle. He's on a Baskerville muzzle. So he can open his mouth and pant and drink water and everything. Definitely a timid guy, definitely a nervous guy. When we were swapping out the muzzle for the Baskerville one here, he started peeing the first moment I touched him, and he's been let out 2 or 3 times today, and he never peed or pooped because he's in a foreign environment. He's unsure. So we got the muzzle here set this way. If it needs to be put for an extended period of time, he's okay to wear it. But you can see some of the twitching here when I make contact with him. So we always want to err on the side of caution. He's got a backup slip chain here. Trying to go in and get that fitted as well. There we go, cool. So if the prong comes undone, he's still secure. So here in this video, we're going to find Moose's working level. The working range on the e-collar is the number that's going to be applicable according to that context. So there's technically 3 ranges. We have connection, perception, and working. Connection is when we see the twitch, but nothing is happening. So Moose could be staring at a squirrel. You see the twitch, and he's completely unfazed by it, but it's obvious that he's feeling something. Perception is when you see the twitch, and Moose kind of looks around. And then working levels when you see the twitch and you see a big movement of like, hey, what's going on? And we always want to be at that working range for the particular context, which may be different from inside a room to at the park with dogs around, inside the home, all the different contexts and things. Your working number is going to be different. Okay, so don't get married to a number. That number is going to change. So but you get used to it. So you'll learn like. In a quiet environment like this, his number could be 25, for example. Inside the home, it could be 15. And then outside, with lots of distraction, maybe it's 55, right? And you just kind of naturally go to these ranges. And it's not to say that that range is going to be forever correct for that particular context. It just happens to be correct for that context in that moment. So, we just use it as a reference point. So if I know 55 is typically what he needs outside, then I'd already be at 55, but then if he's not listening or he's not responding, that tells me 55 in that particular context is not working. So we're gonna find the working range, and I'm gonna describe how that stuff works. Currently we're at 15. Most dogs tend to not feel this until 15, so I like to start at that range. So when I say the word tap, I'm gonna be pressing on the nick function here, which is the bumpy button on the side of your remote, okay? So we're at 15, and tip, tip, tip. No response. We're gonna go to 20. Tip. So I see a twitch here. Tip, tip. But there's no response from Moose here. Okay. And the reason why I'm pulling kind of up and away is in case he has a negative moment or a bad moment, like maybe it invokes defensiveness. I'm already a step ahead, pulling him away from me. That's why we always go up and away from the body. So up helps de-escalate the brain. It also makes it harder for the dog to target something. So if he's trying to come at me and I'm pulling up, it's bringing his head back like this. So it's harder for him to actually move forward and then away, so that if he is trying to bite, he cannot reach me. Okay, even though he's got a muzzle on, we always practice these habits as safety precautions. We're at 25 and tip, tip, tip. Okay. So I see that the connection, tip, tip, tip. Good. So here, 30 got him to put his butt down, okay? Now here, because he is a bit more on the timid side, 30 is like higher end of perception, lower end of working right now. But I'm most likely gonna start at 30 to get him going. I'm gonna go up a little bit just so we get more of a response. So just for a visual cue. So I'm at 35 here. Tip, 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 40, tip, tip, tip. Try 43, tip, 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 tip. So you can see a bigger movement here on this 43. So that's actually what I would probably dub the real working number because I'm still trying to get a feel for moose. However, I'm going to be a little bit more nuanced. So I'm going to go down to that 30 just to play it safe because I don't want to put them under too much pressure. That it creates more difficulties. In some cases it happens, which if it is, it probably would have already. In other cases that I've worked with, essentially as soon as they feel the pressure and they don't like it, they let you know and they start to like alligator roll and pull back and buck around and grab the leash and all that stuff. So here at 30, even at as high as 43, I could see him getting concerned, but he wasn't getting defensive, which is good. So as we work with him throughout the program, these numbers are going to change as we teach new things. I work in different contexts, things like that. And the main thing here is that we want Moose to understand the remote collar as a line of communication. So we're going to shape everything using pressure. Pressure meaning the remote collar. Remote collar can be both a communicator and a punisher. And I like the dog to think of it as a communicator. And not that you can't do both with this tool, you absolutely can. But most people tend to think punishment. Make the dog do something bad and then e-collar them at like a high level. And that tends to create more problems because the dog doesn't understand the line of communication. So that's why we use the obedience stuff to teach Moose here how the pressure turns on and how it turns off, and that it does turn off and it's not this random thing that happens and he thinks to himself like, oh, I felt this before and I know there's a way to turn it off. What do I need to do in order to turn it off? So that this way it's not inciting more behavior because you will read things on the internet that say like, e-collar makes dogs more aggressive, and it's not that it makes them more aggressive, it's that one, maybe it wasn't layered in correctly, or two, yes, it is a defensive dog, but it's not making the dog more aggressive. The issue is already there, the dog just doesn't like pressure. So then you have to work them through the pressure so the dog learns like, okay, fighting against pressure isn't a valid response or acceptable response, but as long as I go with pressure, life's a lot easier, okay? So we're gonna continue with the program, teaching Moose all the 6 commands as well as working with him behaviorally as he has some reactivity issues, and the heel command will be a big part of that. But so far it looks like 30, low 30s, 30 is like the high perception range, low working range. So we'll see what we get in the next video as we teach the place command. So we're going to teach place command to Moose here, and I'm at 30. In the last video we saw that 30 was like kind of high perception range, low working range. So we're going to start at 30, and then this number may change and go up as we go along, or it may also go down as Moose starts to learn and feel, become more cognizant of the e-collar and start looking to it as a line of communication. So what I'm going to do here is we're not going to actually use the word of place. I'm going to shape everything using pressure and leash guidance or leash pressure. So we have e-collar pressure and then we have leash pressure. So this is telling the dog to do something, whereas this is teaching them or helping them figure out what to do. Okay, so here we're at 30. I'm going to go ahead and when I say tap, I'm pressing the button and I'm going to tap, 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 tap. Good boy. I'm gonna give him calm praise here because you can see how timid he is. Good. Break. Break, break. Excuse me. Excuse me. 30. Tap. 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 Yep. Good. Break. Good boy. So you can see how he lifts up his paw. He's a bit unsure. Tap. Tap. Good. Light touch. You can see all the tension here. Good. Break. I'm using more passive energy so he can help acclimate better. Tap. 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 Good. tip, 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 tip. Good. I'm gonna bump it a little bit. We're gonna go 33, tip, 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 tip. Good. So here, if he steps off prematurely, I kick in with the pressure again with no warning to start teaching him that when I send him here using pressure, staying there keeps him from feeling pressure again. So the moment he steps off, I'm tapping very slowly and leading him back to the area. So he's learning if I go to this object, pressure turns off, and if I step off the object, pressure turns on, but when I go back on object, it turns off. And I'm using the cue of break. And break means to move, your job is done, now you can get off the placemat. Break. Good. Good. And tip, tip. Good. So that's getting a little bit more quicker. Good. Tip, tip, tip. Good. Break. Tip, tip, tip. Good boy. Break. Attaboy. I'm gonna do 3 more. Good. Tip, tip, tip. Good. Tip, 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 tip. Good. Break. Good boy. I'm gonna do 2 more. Come on. I'm at 34. Good. Tip. 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 Good. Good boy. Break. And 1 more. Good. Tip. 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 Good. Tip. Tip. Good. So you can see where he's still kind of gambling, stepping off the placemat. So I'm going to bump the number a little bit. I'm going to go to 38. Break. So here, once the dog starts to get the concept, you'll start to see them make less and less mistakes, so to speak, because they're wanting to avoid the pressure. So he's not going to want to intentionally step off the area just to put pressure on himself again. So I'm slowly going up on the collar to find what's the number that's going to deter moose from getting off the placemat again. So we're at 38. And tip, tip, tip. Good. Good. Tip, tip, tip. Good. I'm gonna bump it. We're gonna go to 43. Break. Good boy. Come here. Good. Tip, tip. Good. Break. Tip, tip. Good. So we're seeing bigger contractions, but not so break. Not so like shocking to the dog. Not that this is a shock, but you know, not so surprising. Because in the last video when we're doing the working range, I said 30 was like higher perception, lower working range. And that 43, I think I went up in the video, was like 43. And I said that's more where his working range is, but we're gonna kind of ease him into it. Because as he gets exposed to the collar more, he becomes more familiar with it. And again, he's learning, hey, every time I go here, pressure turns off. And he's learning that when he feels the pressure, if he goes there, again, it's that communicator. When you feel this, go here if you don't want it to keep happening. 44, and tip, tip. Good. Tip, tip. Good. We want all 4 paws on. Tip, tip. And then let's just counter him with a little bit of leash pressure to help guide him back on again. Tip, tip, tip. Good. Tip, 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 tip. Good. And just giving that like passive, positive tip, Good, good fix. Positive energy. Tip, tip, tip. Good. When he steps onto the area, so here I'm making it a little bit more difficult by moving around. And again, slowly going up. So I'm gonna go to 47 from 44. Slowly going up. So before I was going increments of 5, but now that I feel like I'm in that range of working, I'm going more so in increments of 3. Doesn't seem like much, but even just 2 numbers off can be a big factor for a dog until we get a better feel for how he accepts the collar in the higher ranges versus the lower ranges. Break. Atta boy. And tip, tip, tip. Good. So size, breed, age, temperament, none of that stuff makes a difference. Tip, tip, tip. There we go. Makes a difference when it comes to a dog's resilience to the e-collar. I'm gonna go from 47 to 50. I could have a dog that's like 16 pounds, have a level of 80 or 80 on the collar on a normal day. That dog just happens to be a bit more physically tough to the e-collar break than another dog would be. But just because a dog is big, because this guy I believe is 95 pounds, doesn't mean that they're gonna be tough to it. 50, tip, tip, there we go, good. A little bit more quickness there. Tip, 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 good. I mean, it can definitely play a factor, but it's not always a guaranteed factor. As you could have a tip, tip, good. You could have a 150-pound Rottie whose number could be 20, tip. Whereas, you know, this guy, he's 95 pounds and his number is, you know, currently 50. So each case is different, which is why we always start low and we work our way up whenever we teach anything new. And then finding that working range first before we get started. Break. Good. Tip. Good. That was one tap. Now does tip, tip, tip. Good. So 50 is more direct that I can see so far. It's definitely getting him to go there more quickly. And if I go a little bit of a quicker frequency with tap, 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 as opposed to tap, 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 he's taking to it well and correcting himself faster. Break. Come on, bud. Atta boy. There you go. Place. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead here. Ignore that. Tip, tip. There you go. Very easy. Move around. Just gonna do a couple more like this before we start to incorporate the word. Good. Tip, tip, tip. There we go. Good. Atta boy. Good job. Break. So his open mouth and panting is him venting stress, which is good. Good. Tip, tip. Atta boy. Good job. Break. Come on. Good, ready. Tip, tip, tip. Good. So I'm gonna bump it a little bit. I'm gonna go to 53. Good, so now I'm gonna start incorporating the word place. So place means go to this object and don't move. So what I was doing right now was gradually just trying to get Moose to move to the object a bit more easily, a bit more quickly, consistently. Once I feel like I got to that point, now we're gonna start labeling the word place, because let's say he was being resistant or like he was taking his sweet time and it took him 10 seconds before he went to place, then place becomes take 10 seconds before you actually need to go there. And I want him to hear the word place and think he needs to immediately go there, okay? So when we add in this cue, we always want to kick in with the remote collar immediately after, because what we're trying to create is motivation. And I want him to learn, if I move quickly enough, I can beat the punch. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get Moose here to learn. So every time I say place, I'm gonna start tapping, and he thinks, well, what happens if I hear place and I just go there before the tap even happens? We wouldn't tap him. So then the brain learns, oh, I can avoid the tap if I move quick enough. And that's why our dogs are very responsive, because we use every opportunity to apply the tap, whereas the average dog owner uses every opportunity or gives the dog the opportunity to avoid the tap. And that's not what we want to do. That will create unreliable obedience. So if I say something, the reason why I want that immediate response is if there's any kind of delay, and then one day like he gets off leash and he's running towards the street and you call him and there's a delay in your command, he's going to keep going, and by the time your command means anything to him, he could already be in the street. So all commands have to be on the same page in terms of responsiveness. We want it to be very quick, we want it to be very immediate, because that means it's urgent. If it's urgent, it's important, because if it's not important, they're not going to do it. Okay, so everything we say has to mean something to the dog. Break. Otherwise, they'll completely ignore you. So now I'm at F53. Place, tip, tip, tip. Good. Using less leash guidance now. Trying to get Mr. Moose here to go there on his own. Yeah, the boy. Break. Good job. Good boy. Ready? Place. Tip, tip, tip. Yeah, the boy. Good job. Break. Place, tip, tip, tip. So you can hear how quick I kick in with the tap right after I give the cue of place, break. Now we don't apply remote collar behind the break, because break means your job is done. Sometimes place, tip, tip, tip. Sometimes the dogs will resist the break, so to speak, because they know they're going to be put back in position of place and they're wanting to avoid the pressure. So in that case, we'll just use the leash and pull them until they remove themselves. Every now and then, if we get a dog that's too stuck in place and not responding to the break command, we'll put pressure behind it to tell the dog, like, even when I tell you break, you have to respond. Break. Yeah, boy, good job. Okay, good. Place. Tip, tip, tip. Good. Yeah, the boy. Let's go up a little bit. We're in the 56. Break. I'll do one more. Good. Tip. Good. Right there, one tap on 56. Tip. There we go. And then he brings his leg in. Very good. So here, on one tap, he immediately started to go. He delayed a bit, but then he got on, but then he stepped off and I tapped him and he immediately brought in that foot, so that now he's completely within the perimeter of place, okay? So he's understanding that this means put yourself within the space, okay? And that's the concept I want him to learn. So what we just worked on right now is what we call the send, telling him whose place and him leaving from where he's at and going to the object, whether it be at my side or maybe he's on the couch and I say place, he should hop off and go to his dog bed or whatever object that we use to teach the place. So then here, when it comes to practicing the stay component, I always suggest that people practice as they're doing nothing. So if you're gonna sit down and watch TV for a bit, and you're gonna watch, Netflix for an hour and a half or 2 hours or so, grab your dog bed, whatever it is that you use for your place, pop it down next to you, get his equipment on, his leash collar and everything, place, tap, boom, he goes. You have the leash in your hand, you sit down and you watch your show. The reason why we want to have the leash at this phase is because if you remove it too quick and you try to tap the dog to correct them, the dog may go into flight mode and run off, okay? So the leash helps us limit the range of motion, so they can't get that far, and you have more immediate direction so that you can correct them easily without even having to get up. So if you do 2 hours and 30 minutes in, he decides to get up and get off, you would tap him to correct him, he should hop back, and then we know, oh, okay, he's learning that the tap means to not get off. So dogs are not like humans. A human, you can say, go to your room and don't come out, and that human would understand that concept. Dogs don't. You can't explain to him, hey buddy, when you go here, I also need you to stay there. He needs to attempt to get off while under command and be corrected for the behavior to learn that that's not an option. So every time you tell him place, and place means go here and stay within the perimeter as an implied stay, he needs to make the mistake of getting off, be tapped and corrected until he self-corrects, and then he learns, okay, I can try to get off, but I just get tapped and it doesn't go away until I go back on again. And that's what creates the stay component. That's why I always suggest that people do this command when they're not doing anything, because it's very easy to correct. You just tap the dog with the leash, and you don't even have to get up from your couch. You can practice as extended periods of time. So we always want to think about how we're going to apply the place in our lives. A lot of people use the place command when they go to restaurants, or when people come over, or if they have guests come over and they're having dinner and they want the dog out the way, they'll place the dog. And place has no real time limitation. You practice place for as long as you need. So if you know you would need him to stay put for like 3 hours, then you want to practice 3 to 4 hour ranges straight through, here and there throughout the week in order to make it applicable. Because if all you do is practice short 15 to 30 minute time frames, and then one day you need him to do 3 hours, it's too big of a gap. He's not going to be able to do it. This does not mean you have to always practice 3 hours every single day, but at least 2 to 3 times a week, practice up in that range as you do nothing. And then the other days you can do 15 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour or what have you. You can do shorter time frames, but you definitely want to keep things, you definitely want to practice things for what you're going to need, so that when the day comes and you need the dog to stay put for 2 hours or 3 hours or what have you, you've been doing it already and the dog thinks this is nothing new. So the problem with most training is that people will practice 10 to 15 minutes and then every day, and then hope in that one day in 2 months that's going to be applicable. And what makes our obedience functional is that the e-collar allows us to create functional and applicable obedience right from the get-go. So now that he's learned place, he'll start to do 2 hour place command, 1 hour place commands throughout the day as part of his daily activity. So we're already kind of putting him up in that range. But then we have to worry about, of course, transferring this obedience over to you, and that's where you have to come in and then practice the same thing. Otherwise, he thinks, I can do 2 to 3 hours at Jesse's place, but with mom, I don't have to. So just finding opportunities to put this. You can practice stationary work multiple times a day. It doesn't have to be one time a day. You could do 15 minutes on a Monday, 3 hours on a Tuesday, an hour on a Wednesday, an hour on a Thursday, 10 minutes on a Friday, or you can do 10 minutes in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, and 30 minutes in the evening one day, and then 3 hours in the morning the next day. You could do however you'd like, because it's not redundant, it's not repetitive. It's simply, just him staying put. As long as he stays put, he would avoid any kind of pressure. So, place command is very lenient. It's not like a down command. Down is lay down, don't move. Place command is sit, stand, lay down, chew on a bone, play with a toy. I don't care. Just do not step out of the perimeter of the object. So it gives the dog more choices, and it makes it easier for the owner to correct, because they're not having to be more tuned in to the dog. So like if you go to a restaurant with Moose here, and you put him in a place command, if he sits from a down, that's technically okay. You don't need to correct that because he's under place. But if he was in a down, you'd have to correct that, because that would be breaking position. And it tends to be a little bit more difficult for people, because if you're at a restaurant, you're wanting to enjoy your time there. We choose to do something a bit more lenient. So this wraps up the place command, the first of our stationary commands. Moose did very well. We ended at 56, at least for this exercise. So as we work with them, we'll start to learn more about what his real working range is.
Hi, it's Enrique, Canine Perspective. Today we have Moose, and in this video we're going to be going over the heel command. Heel is a two parts. So this will be part one. This will just be us shaping the behavior. We won't be doing any labeling anything. We won't be saying heel or anything like that. It's just creating a behavior. So when he feels this e-collar, it means to follow me. So heel. Our version of heel goes, heel is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. So if I take 5 steps with Moose, Moose takes 5 steps. If I take 10, Moose takes 10. If I come to a stop, Moose is to automatically sit. And this is all done with a slack leash in any environment. And that's the amount of focus that is desired from the dogs. So here, for our leash, we want to make sure we're giving enough leash for him to make mistakes. So right now, I'll have it in one hand, so I'll have the loop in my left thumb right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of it over my pointer finger. So I have a double lock system, so it's locked up here. So right now I have a pretty short J. Let's see here, right here. So I have a J, and this J ends right at his armpit. So that's telling me that it's not too much leash to the point where if you're giving too much shh. Oh, I thought it was about poop. If we're giving too much leash, then Moose is going to be stepping over it, and if he keeps stepping over it, then we're going to have to keep just pausing throughout the training session to adjust. If we're taking too much leash, right, and then we're kind of forcing him to be in this position, and we're not letting him, we're not like seeing if he's focusing into being in this position or not, or whether it's just us, just like we're forcing him here, so that's why he's there. So the position is, we like to look at our right shoulder here, parallel to my left leg. So as soon as this right shoulder passes my left leg, I'm gonna go ahead and do immediate right 180 to my right, and then also we're gonna be using the remote. We're at 20, by the way. So as soon as this right shoulder passes my left leg, I'm gonna be doing a 180 to my right using the remote. So that's if he passes me. Other things that Moose might do, maybe go to my right side. So if he goes to my right side, I'm gonna wanna keep moving forward and then give pressure back to my left, just gentle pressure, just guidance, not to dragging or anything. And then pairing it with the E-collar. If Moose puts the brakes on and doesn't wanna move, we keep our movement and then using the E-collar in that as well. We have not seen any aggression from Moose previously with the place command or just in general with handling him, putting the E-collar on, leashing him up, taking him to potty. We haven't seen anything. What else? And that is it. And we'll go over the auto sits once, a few laps. So we'll see what we can do with the auto sits. But other than that, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna start walking. Good. So right here, he's passing, so I'm gonna turn and then tap. Good. So here, turn, tap, 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 tap. Good boy. Good. Tap, tap. Good. Good. Turn, tap, 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 tap. Good. Try 25. Good. Turn, tap. Good boy. Tap. Good. Good. Slow turn. Good job. Good. Slow walk. Good. Slow turn. Good. No tapping is going on here. And tap. Tap. Good. Okay. Slow walk. Slow turn. Good job. Good. Slow walk. Good. Speed up. Tap. Good. And then slow turn. Okay. Tap. 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 Slow walk. Good. Slow turn. Good boy. Good. And we're at 25. Good. Slow walk. Slow turn. Tap. Tap. Good. And we're going to slow to a stop. Right here. Good. Nothing out of the ordinary. He did really good. I'm going to go ahead and we'll do one more walk around. I did end up going up to 25 because he did start lagging and he wasn't really kind of moving. So here, I'm going to turn and then tap. 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 Boy, we're at 38. 38 got him to move. Good. Slow turn. Good. Tap. And lower it. I'm going to try 34. Good. Slow turn. Good. Tap to speed him up. Good. He got distracted as well as soon as I tapped. Good. Slow turn tap. Good. I'm going to slow walk and then stop. Good. For the auto sits, the way we teach it is we're going to go ahead and put, oh, good boy. So sometimes this just happens. Maybe, you know, maybe he has the foundation. Like when they stop, they probably pull up and sit. Or if he isn't taught that and he's doing it now, it could be because he's just really focused on like what's going on. But the way we teach it is we start off with leash pressure pulling up, and then we're pairing this with the remote. We're pulling up and then we're tapping, tapping, tapping. And as soon as I see the butt start to go down, I release all pressure from the e-collar and the leash, and we'll praise him there. So we'll see if we get to see a moment of him not sitting. Good boy. I'm gonna sneeze. Hopefully it's not loud in the microphone. Just echoing. Thank you. Good. Slow turn. Tap, tap. Good. And then we'll slow to a stop, and then we'll see how he's doing at the auto sits. Good. Slow to a stop. And good boy. Good. So another command we pair with the heel is break command, which means he's now allowed free to do his potty stuff, smell, run around, do whatever he wants. So the way we teach break is we'll go ahead and approach, like, you know, for outside or on the sidewalk, we'll go ahead and just like approach the grass. So if we're walking, we'll slow and let him do the auto sit. So we'll stop it before the grass, let him auto sit first. Once he's auto sit, auto sat, we'll cue it, break, and we'll bring him to the grass, and then like he can just like, you know, pee, poop, doing whatever he wants. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary. He did really good. Hi, it's Enrique with Canine Perspective. Today we have Moose in this video. We're going to be going over part 2 of heel, whereas we are going to be introducing the word to Moose of like him hearing heel and having him understand that when he hears this word, it means to follow us. Shh. Heel is not a get in this position, so like I wouldn't use the word like this, so I wouldn't like look at Moose, say heel, and expect him to come to my left side and full and like get in position, like aligning his right shoulder with my left leg. Heel is used to like follow me. So instead it'd be heel and I would start walking and then he should just follow me. Same thing if I come to his side and I say heel, it's the left leg goes and then we follow, he follows me. Yeah, sometimes owners get confused of what heel is. This is a different command. If I were to look at Moose and I would tell him to get into the position of heel, it's called finish. But just to keep it simple, just heel is just walk with me. Because if we say heel to get him into position, we kind of technically have to say heel to kind of get him to move. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cue, for every stop we do, we're gonna go ahead and cue the word heel. And then after we cue the word heel, we're gonna go ahead and start moving with the left leg. And yeah, for every stop, and let's say if I say heel and the left leg goes and like Moose is still hanging back like this, I'm gonna go ahead and just tap him to kind of correct him for lagging behind. So here, heel, left leg, tap, tap, good boy. Good, slow, and then slow to a stop. Good, heel, left leg. Good, slow turn, good. And then slow to a stop, good boy. Heel, left leg, and then we'll tap here. Good, slow, And slow to a stop. Good, very slow sit. Okay, good. Good. Heel, left leg. Good. Slow walk. And slow to a stop. Good job, buddy. Heel, left leg. Good. Do a turn here. Good. Slow to a stop. Good. And then up and tap. Good. Relax. Good boy. Good. Heel, left leg. Now slow to stop right here. And good boy. Good. So it's very simple. We're just cueing the word, and then as we're cueing it, after we cue it, the left leg then moves. Only in this video is where we'll be doing that. After this, if we're going to be putting him into a heel and we come to a stop, we're not going to have to say it. It'll just be the left leg moving forward, because if we're constantly repeating it, just shouldn't get too annoying. What else? Other than that, we're going to go ahead and move forward to left turns and right turns. So with the left turns and right turns, we want to it's more like a body language, like talking to him, like, you know, what's going on, kind of communicating to him, like what's changing or what's going to happen. So a few things for this this previous part right here when I was doing the heel and the first video of heel part 1, I was always saying slow or like slow turn or like slow and then stop, or like, you know, I was like kind of changing my pace, but then whenever I did something different, I would slow down first and then do the different behavior. We like to compare it to a traffic law. So if we know we're gonna stop at a stop sign, we'd like to slow down first to 1, let the driver behind us know that something is going to happen and there's going to be a change, and like just to be fair to them so that we don't, you know, get in a car crash. If we don't slow down and we just like stop out of nowhere, there's going to be a crash. So same thing for dogs. If we're going to consistent speed, you know, for like a 30-minute walk and we're going at consistent speed and we just stop all of a sudden, we're just probably just going to keep going because there's no heads up, there's nothing to kind of tell them like, hey, we're going to stop here. So that's where the slowdown comes into play, and it's just like 3 to 4 steps. You know, 3 to 4 steps slow down, and then he should slow down with us, and then he's thinking, okay, so we're slowing down, something's going to happen, either a turn, a left turn or a right turn, or a stop. And then, yeah, so that's the first reason, to be fair. The second reason is to make sure he's paying attention. So he already rotated, Elias. So if we're going to, so again, 1, to be fair, 2, to kind of make sure he's paying attention. So if I slow down and then Moose is still going up, like, you know, keeping going the normal pace we're going at, that's telling me he's not paying attention because I'm doing my part right, he's doing his wrong. So instead of forcing a stop and like pulling back, or, you know, with these turns we're going to talk about in a little bit, forcing a turn, we would go ahead and just do the 180 to our right and then tap to correct, to redirect to us. If we try to force turns or stops while he's passing us, it's going to be very messy. It's going to be just going to be very messy. It's not going to work out that well. So we're going to go ahead and start with the left turns. With the left turns and right turns, we always start with the opposite leg. So if we're going to go left, we start with the right leg. If we're going to go right, we're going to start with the left leg. 40. So here, heel, left leg, and then tap. Good. I'm going to go left, so I slow down. He's paying attention. So it's going to be a right leg, right leg. I'll do a few more. I know, I think I came out the camera. Good. So I slow down first. Good. Right, left, right. Good. Tap from the catch up. So slow down, like 3 to 4 steps. Starting with the right leg, so it's going to be the right leg, right leg. Good. Good boy. Good. Tap. Slow. So he's paying attention. So it's going to be right, left, right. So slow down first. Right leg, right leg. Good. Slow down first. He's paying attention, so now I can perceive the turn. Right, left, right. Tap. 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 Good. And slow to stop. Good boy. So there's a few times where Moose's head was kind of in my way. If that happens, usually owners try going around the dog, but we encourage owners to go through the dog. So we're trying to make the best square we can make. If he's in the way, he's going to get pushed out the way with our legs. It's just like teaching him boundaries there, so that sometimes dogs will get curled up next to the left leg, and they'll start curling around in front, and they're always going to be stopping in front. So this turn is letting them know if this is this can be in your way, and it's just letting you know to get out the way. What else? For on an actual walk, because this is kind of just like a floor, you have cracks on the sidewalks. So we like to let the owners kind of do their turns on the cracks. So if they're going to slow down as they're approaching our crack, they're going to start with their right leg. So if this is a crack right here, it's going to be the right leg lands on the crack, and then it's the left leg, and then it's the right leg going off the crack, going back that way. Tap. Good boy. If you find that there's getting messy, there's a few things that could be wrong. It could be you're maybe going around Moose when you're doing the turn. Maybe he's not slowing down, and also try your best to not use his arm. So if he's passing you, don't use his arm to pull him out the way, and then you're going into him. Other than that, yeah. So we're gonna go over right turns. So right turns, the left leg starts. So I can do one right here actually. So it's gonna be heel, good, and tap, good. Do a left leg, right leg, and a left leg, tap. Good boy. Slow down first. Good. He's slowing down with me. So I'm going to extend my left leg, go back on my right leg, and then go back on my left leg. Tap. 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 Good. Slow down first. Left leg, go back on the right, and back on the left. Good. I'm going to do two more. Slow down first. Good. Left, right, left. Tap. Slow. Left, right, left. Good. I'm going to be mixing these turns up now. So I'm going to do left turns and right turn. So slow. Here's a left turn. Right leg, right leg. I'll do a right turn here. So slow. Left, right, left. Tap. Good. Slow. There's a right turn, left leg, left leg, tap. Good. So slow. Let's do a left turn here. So it's going to be right, left, right. Slow. Right, left, right. And we'll end it here. Tap. And good boy. Okay. When you're gonna practice your heel walks, so now you have both parts of heel. You'll go ahead and let Moose do a potty break first. Once he's done potty and everything, you'll go ahead and find your number on the e-collar. Once you have found your number, you can go ahead and cue the word heel and then start moving. If Moose doesn't respond to the word heel or he's not following, we don't repeat heel. We just go ahead and use the e-collar to kind of bring him to our left side. After he's at our left side, we can go ahead and do 5 left turns and 5 right turns, just a little warm up before the walk. And then once we've done those turns, then we can proceed to the walk. If you want to give him a potty break during the walk, he would have to go ahead and slow to a stop to the grass, let him sit first, cue the word break, bring him to the grass with the leash, no tapping needed, let him do his thing. And then when you're ready for the walk, you'd go and cue heel. You'd start walking, having your left side facing Moose, and then tapping if needed, if he's not listening or if he's just still smelling the ground. Hi, it's Ricky at Kind of Perspective. Today we have Moose in this video. We're going to be going over the stay command. So stay is the least used command in our program just because most of our commands already have a stay implied. So we don't say down stay, sit stay, or heel stay, or come stay. It's just sit down, stay, place. There's nothing else after that. So our version of stay is stay in that position and spot where you're at if you're not in a stationary command. So like right now, good boy. So right now, Moose is in a sitting position. He's not in the sit command, or he's not even in the heel command. He's technically on break, but the position he's in is sit. So if we want Moose to stay in this position and spot, that's where we go ahead and use stay. So for our stay, we have a visual and like the audio where he can hear and like a little verbal, the verbal and like the visual. So we're gonna go ahead and then we're gonna wave our left hand in front of Moose's face, and then we're also gonna pair it with the word stay. If Moose doesn't see our hand being waved in front of him, it's fine, he's still hearing the word. What we're also gonna do is we're gonna have our leash set up like this. Reason is because we're going to expect Moose to kind of break the stay as we pivot out in front of him, starting with the right leg. So it'll be stay. I like having my arm set up like this first before I come out and pivot in front of him with the right leg. So we want our arm like this, right? There's no tension. My arm is just ready to pull up if needed to bring it back into the sit. The reason why we want this much leash instead of like this much is because if we need to pull him up and then we're tapping to make him sit, then our arm's going to be all the way up here, and he's also going to have this leash to kind of move around. So it's going to be like this, and then all we have to do is just pull up like that, and then it's also helping him like keep that position. Like if we're out over here, we can keep him there as we're walking around. We're also going to be using the remote to correct him. We're at 34. I'm going to go ahead and go down 25, 23, just because we are teaching something new. So we want our arms set up like this. What else? Pivoting out with the right foot first instead of the left. Left foot has been used for heel command, so we've been drilling it out constantly. So every time he hears heel, he sees that left leg move. So just to help and differentiate between the two, that this time this leg isn't moving, it's this leg, so he's able to understand, okay, this is something different, and that it's easier to just split the two for him. So here, stay, have my arm set up, and I'm pivoting it out first with my right foot, and I'm going to come this into Moose facing him. So it's going to be like this, and we face Moose. And return, and then good boy, good, and then heel, left leg. Good. Come back and do a few more. Slow to a stop. Good boy. Good. Again, stay. Have my leash shut up first. Pivoting out with my right foot in front of Moose, pulling up. Good. Didn't get a tap. Good. And then up, tap. Good. Relax. Good. Or we can start with like a half circle first. Good boy. And come back to the side. Get a little scratch. Good boy. And then new command overrides the old command. So I'm going to go ahead and put him back in the heel. And we'll come back and maybe do another half circle and then see how that goes and see if we can do like the full circle. So here, heel, left leg. Good. Tap. Tap. Good. 25 still. Slow to a stop. Good boy. Stay. Pivot out with my right foot. Up, tap, and relax. Good. Good. That's fine. up, tap, good, relax. So as soon as I see the butt go back down, I'm gonna be releasing all pressure, up, tap, good. I'm gonna try higher, try 30. And also, there we go. Good, up, tap, good boy, release. Good, good boy, good. Heel, left leg. Good. I'm gonna go ahead and slow down to a stop. Good boy. Stay. Pivot out in front of him. Let's do a full circle. Up, tap. Good. What I'm also doing as I'm correcting it, I'm pausing my walking. The reason is if I try to correct while I'm moving, he's gonna think heel, because the last time he felt e-collar and I was moving, the answer to that was to follow, and this is not the answer in this case. So when I pause my movement, it's to help him kind of figure it out. So that was a good one, just because there was one correction, and then like he held the rest, and that was a 30. Heel. Excuse me. Good, slow. And then slow to a stop. Yes, good boy. Good. Stay. Have my leash set up, pivot out with my foot. Shh. Good. And then a little up, tap. Good, relax. Great job. Up, tap. Good, relax. Good boy. We'll do one more. Heel, left leg. Good. And then slow to the stop. Last one, buddy. Good job. Stay. So that one he didn't see my hand, but he heard it, so we're gonna proceed with the right foot. Tap. Good. Good. Heel. Good. I'm gonna stop right here. Yeah, face the camera. Good job. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just remembering to use that right foot to come out in front of him. If we're going to be using the left foot, it's going to be a little confusing. He's going to want to, most likely, he's going to break it even more just because we've been drilling out that left leg with heel. What else? So when you're going to practice this, there's a few ways you can practice. If he's going to go potty, and let's say he does the number 2, you go ahead and just pick it up. As you're going to throw it away, there's an opportunity there to practice stay. So you'll go ahead and like give space between you and like the trash can or wherever you're going to throw it. Do the stay, pivot out, and then toss it, and then come back and good boy. Correct as needed. Another way would be if you're going for a walk and you need, you're at the crosswalk and you got the hand signals like the stop sign. You can use that time to practice stay and just do a quick little walk around. Good boy, heel, left leg, continue your walk. For us, when we take the dogs for training walks, we try and do it more often just so we can have more time to practice. And then we also go to Home Depot. So if we're in Home Depot and we're going the side aisles, we like to do the stay, pivot out, and make sure that there's no like incoming traffic, such as like the heavy machinery or sometimes even the dogs that they bring to Home Depot. Once the coast is clear, we return to his side, good boy, heel, left leg, and then we do a little walk at Home Depot. Other than that, we don't repeat stay. So if we're doing like a walk around him, the only thing we do is just pause our walking, pull up, and then tap. We don't repeat stay or anything like that. We just continue walking. If he's constantly breaking it, so he was breaking it a lot the first time, like the second time, I went ahead and bumped it to 30, and like even though he still like broke in the beginning, it was still just like one correction to kind of have him hold it the rest of the time. So if I find that 30, he still is breaking it the first time, I'll go ahead and just bump it to 35, see if he holds it after that feeling of making a mistake. Hi, San Miguel Camp Perspective. Today we have Moose. In this video, we're going to be going over the down and sit command. If we can get to it. Come on, Moose. So down, obviously, is like the down you guys know. Just lay down, don't move. The way we teach it with econ is a little bit different. So if I said down, and let's say he did know down through food and everything like that, and then he laid down, but if he got back up and I started tapping, he probably wouldn't be able to connect the dots like down, like tap needs to go back down because he's never been taught down with e-collar. So it's the way we teach a little bit, we're using pressure. I have him on a flat collar. He came with a prong, and this is like the safety chain where you clip the prong or leash to the prong and the safety slip chain. But we're going to be using the flat collar just because if we use a prong or a slip lead or like the slip chain, it's like pressure all around the neck, so it's like choking and pulling down. So we want, because we're already using pressure with the e-collar, so sometimes if we're using a slip lead or a prong collar forcing the dog down, it can be too much pressure, so it can be pressure overload. So we're using a flat collar just to have them like bring the neck down, so there's guidance in bringing their neck down. And we're going to be pairing this pressure pulling them down with the remote. His working number has been like around like 30 or like 40 to 50. Right now we're going to start at 20. So how we're going to do this is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use my left foot. Using the foot closest to the dog is usually easier. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and pull up until I get some sort of tension right there. So with this tension pulling down on this collar, I'm going to be pairing it with the e-collar. I'm going to give slow taps, and we're starting at a low number just because this is something new to Moose, and it can be a little confusing if we're at a high number expecting him to just figure it out. So here we're at 20. Let's say start at 17. So here I'm going to reel in, bring in pressure like this. So 17, and then tap, tap. Go ahead and reel in some more. And good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Moose. Good. And then break. Good job. And if he did, let's say I, got him down, and let's say I was petting him and everything, and let's say he got up, I wouldn't care just because we're trying to focus on one thing at a time, just getting him used to feeling this and having figure out that this feeling also means to lay down. Okay? And we like to start dogs in like the sitting position, so a little more easier. Good. Foot on a leash, and then tap, tap. Good. No more pressure. And good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Moose. Break. Good. We're going to do this a few more times until we see a lot of consistency with, feeling the leash and the e-collar and going down. Good, and we're just shaping the behavior. I'm not sure if I explained that in the beginning, but we're just shaping the behavior before we call it something. So here, tap. Very slow. Good, and right now he's kind of like laying on his side, right? We don't need anything fancy, we just need like function. So as long as he's laying down when we say down, and this speed is all right for now. We can see, maybe we can get a little quicker, but as long as he's feeling it, and then he just lays down, that's good enough. Good. One more time. Break. Come on, Moose. Okay, gonna pull up. Good job, buddy. Foot on leash. Pressure down, and then tap. And good boy. Good boy. Break. This is not his working number, so I'm going to try a little higher, seeing what he does. So I'm going to try 30, 38. Good. You got it. Good. Pressure down, and then tap. Good. Good boy. break. Good. So now that I'm seeing a lot of consistency, I'll put it down to the 30. I'm gonna go ahead and change it up. What I'm gonna do is put him back in the sit. Good. I'm gonna hold my leash now, and I'm gonna just start tapping. If I see any, sort of struggle, well, there's two ways. I can either hold the leash like this, tap, and seeing what he does. If he's struggling, I can just drop it, step on it, or I can already have it to the ground and step on it, but not use the tension or pressure of my foot when pulling up to bring him down. But sometimes dogs will see my foot go on leash, even when they feel no tension, they already know it's gonna happen, so they just lay down, because they see that. So just to kind of get away with that, we like to hold it. If they're struggling, then we go ahead and help them like that. 30, tap. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Break, break, come on. Good job. Good. Good. Now here, if he just lays down, all I'm gonna do is just pull him back up like that. No tapping or anything, I'm not saying, just like pulling him up. Yeah. Good, and then tap. This guy. Good job, Moose. Good. Good. And break. Good. 2 more times. Good. Wait a moment. And then tap. Good. Good job. Break. Good. Good. Now here, yep, just pull them up. Good. And tap. Tap. There we go. He's a good boy. Good. So now we're going to add the word down. When we add the word, if he lays down, we don't tap. If he's struggling or he's just not responding, we're going to go ahead and tap right away. Usually we give 3 taps struggling, and we'll kind of help them with the foot on the leash. Break. Come on, Moose. Good. Good. Down. Good job. Good job. Good. And break. Come on. Good. We're gonna do this 4 more times. Good. Good. Wait a moment. Just pull up here. Yep. Pull up again. He's trying. Pull up again. Okay. Down. And good boy. Good boy. Yeah, good boy, Moose. Good. And break. 3 more times. 3 more times. Okay. Good job. Down. Good. Good job. Break. 2 more. Is the AC on? No. Okay. 2 more times. Good. Down. Good job, buddy. Break. Good. 1 more. down, good, good. So nothing out of the ordinary. He did really good. I can already tell he's got a pretty good foundation of just overall like training and obedience and everything like that. He's pretty good. Now we're just like layering on another tool to kind of give it more meaning, right? So if you were to break it, like I said, I'm not worried about duration, but right now, if we're going to be doing duration, it's going to look very similar to like the stay, where we do like look a little walk around him, and as soon as I see him, getting up, I'm going to kick in with the pressure of the e-collar, and if he's kind of struggling and I'm seeing that I'm at the right number, right? He's moving around, but then he doesn't know what to do. I'm going to go ahead and use my foot on the leash and just help guide him there. So if you want to practice duration, what you can do is if you're going to you can have the same setup, right? So you'll just step on the leash, watch a movie, hang out outside, just next to you, having your remote to correct him. I don't repeat down. We don't repeat any commands. We're not supposed to, right? If we're repeating commands, then we're resetting the brain. So if he gets up and I say down and he lays down again, well, that's good. But then he's also learned that, oh, I just need to, I can break the down whenever I want. I just need to go back when they say down again, which is not going to be good. So we want to say down. If he gets up, I'm going to start tapping, right? Good job. Good job, buddy. Good. So here, tap, tap, good, good. So I didn't use the leash, I didn't use like that foot pressure. I was getting ready to because I was kind of moving forward. Good. Good job, Moose. Good job. Good. So it's gonna look like that. I didn't say anything, we just went ahead and corrected it with the remote. So that's how you would correct it. Like I said, but you can watch a movie, read a book, hang out in like a porch area. If you're going for a walk and you see like a bench, park at the bench, just have them coexist with the world and everything like that. Good. So then we're gonna move on to the sit command. Sit is, as you know, it's just, go sitting. So here, if we wanna teach from the down command, or just in general, right? We've already shaped the behavior. Somewhat, because he was already kind of doing the automatic sitting in the heel, but when he wasn't doing it, I went ahead and pulled up and tapped, and then he got it immediately. So since we already shaped it, all we gotta do is label it. So I'm gonna cue the word sit, and then pull up and tap. Sit, up, tap. Good boy. Good. Break. Good. Good boy, come on. Good. So right here, see if he can stand for a little bit. Sit. Up and tap. Good. Good. Break. Yeah. Good boy, Moose. Sit, up, tap, and relax. Good boy. Break. Good. Good boy, Moose. So see, he's staying standing. Sit. Good. And you might have already known sit, right? But we want to teach the e-collar way and all that good stuff. So here, down. Good. Sit, tap, tap, and then relax. Good boy. It's called push-ups for dogs. Sit down, sit down, sit down. You can do that from a down to sit as well if you want to practice that. Just kind of like advance your sit. But other than that, if you want the stationary for the sit command, it looks very similar to the stay, except we don't say stay. So it's just pivoting out with the right foot, right? Facing up, tap, and relax. Good boy. Up, tap, relax. Good boy. Good. And we go and do a little walk around. Good. 40 right now. Good job, buddy. Good. Down. Good. Same thing, pivot out with the right foot, but we don't say stay because these two commands have a stay implied with them. Good. Good. Other than that, that is all. I gave you already certain ways to practice duration with the down. Another way is let's say you're going on a walk and he's in heel and you see a friend and you know you're gonna talk for them for a while, like a neighbor comes out, you're talking, and when you come to a stop and you're gonna talk to them, he should be in an auto sit. So usually when we're kind of, when dogs are in the sitting position, it's usually uncomfortable. So then they kind of go into a laying down if they're sitting for such a long time. So to beat them to the punch, I would go ahead and just, if I know I'm going to talk a while, I just say down, let him down, and then stepping on this leash. If he lays down before you say down, all you would do is don't say anything, right? Because he broke the heel command. Heel is walk me, save me, sit when I stop, not lay down when I stop. So we're gonna go ahead and pull up and then correct that with the e-collar. Once we have corrected him, we wait a moment. All right, he's holding the sit. Then we're gonna cue down. He might have a hard time because we just corrected him for laying down. So if he's having a hard time, I just have that foot on the leash, pull him down right away, and then tapping with the remote. But other than that, nothing out of the ordinary. He did very good. He's doing really good this program. Good job, Moose. Break. Hi, it's Enrique with Connect Perspective with Donovan, and we've got Moose, and we're going to be doing recall. So we have two things here. It's a two-person exercise. I have the long leash and the e-collar because I'll be doing the recall. Donovan has a short leash to create separation because as we go through the exercise, we might see Moose, not want to go walk away with Donovan because he's thinking, you're going to call me anyways, well, I'm not going to walk with this guy, right? So recall is the come and call command. Moose come, he's to come to us in our vicinity of a foot. And then he's to be sitting 1 to 2 feet. He's to be sitting on the front, right side, left side, or behind us, does not matter, just like in this vicinity. When you're handling the long leash, I'm right-handed, so I have the loop in my right hand, remote in my right hand, left hand is holding the rest of the leash. This allows me to have 3 fingers available, with right thumb to increase the number, pointer to press it, 3 fingers available to reel it in. So here, I just reel it in like that. I just let it hit the ground, it's fine. And if I'm on to lock it here, I go ahead and have this set up right here. And then here it's locked. Good, so I'll show it again. Reeling it in, and then a little flip here, and then lock. We just don't want him having 30 more feet to go past me, so I'm gonna limit his leash to kind of get away. So we're gonna shape it first. So Dom's gonna go ahead and we're gonna kind of give that space. We're gonna be doing a few things. The way we shape it is we're gonna go ahead and pair leash tension with the e-collar, and then we'll be tapping. So his working number is like 50 to 40. So I'm gonna start at 35. So with this leash tension, I'm going to tap. As soon as Donovan hears me say tap, so if you're doing this with 2 people, you drop the leash, the second hand will drop the leash. Once I see Moose making his way to me, the pressure stops, I stop tapping, I take 3 to 4 steps back, hold and seeing what he does. If he stops halfway, tap, 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 move back. And if he comes here and then passes me, I turn, face Moose, tap, 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 moving backwards. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So here, leash tension, 35, and then tap. Good. 3 to 4 steps back. We'll hold right here. See what he does. Okay, and then up and tap for the sit. Good boy. Good. Break. And then break allows him to kind of go back down. Now he's free from me. Good. We'll do 4 more. Good. So right now there's no tension on there's no tension on the leash. Go ahead and reel in a little bit, and then I feel tension, so it's going to be tap. Good. 3 to 4 steps backwards. Hold right here. See what he does. Good. I'm going to face Moose. Tap. Move backwards. I'm going to go down to 27. Tap. And good boy. Good. Break. Good. I know he's faster than this because I took him outside one time and he was moving quick. So we're going to take it slow. 3 more. Okay. Leash tension, tap. Good. Tap, tap. See if we can get some speed. See what he does here. Tap. Good. Tap. And this is too far, so I'm gonna take a step back and tap, tap. Hold right here. Tap. See what he does with this. Just this one tap. And better. Make sure he sits. Good. Good boy. Good. And break. I'll tap low key real quick. Okay. One more. Good. Release tension and tap. Good. Hold right here after our 3 to 4 steps back. Tap, tap. There we go. Some speed. And good boy. Good. Break. We're gonna advance this now. Instead of giving the leash and e-collar, we're gonna go ahead and just do e-collar, then leash if needed. Good, so loose leash, 45, and then tap, 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 tap. There we go. 3 to 4 steps back. Hold right here. And tap for the sit. Tap, move back, tap, tap, tap. What's that? Blue? And good boy. Break. No, it's fine right there. Okay. Good, so loose leash. E-collar first. Okay. Here, tap, tap. There we go. Tap, tap. There we go. Good. Nice. 58. That did the trick. Break. You saw that difference though, like the urgency, like, oh, yeah. And then he sat real quick.
He likes to mosey.
He's what?
He does like to mosey.
What's that? Oh, I see, I see.
It's a slow meander.
Good. So loose leash, and then tap, 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 tap. There we go. And then move back, tap. Hold right here, see what he does. Good. So here, it's not close enough. Oh. Good boy. Good. Break. We're going to add the cue now. It's going to be, oh, sorry, moose, come, tap. Even if he's coming, I'm still going to tap, and we'll explain why in a bit. Moose. Moves like a moose. Actually, no, mooses are, I think, moose are fast.
They can be, but they're pretty slow.
Okay. Moose, come, tap. Good. Moving back, hold my reel on my leash. And good boy. So although, let's see here. Break. Although that was a high power and he did yelp, I'm glad that when he felt that, might have been uncomfortable, that he came to me, right? Usually when dogs feel that, they come, it looks like they're coming to me, but then they pass, like they're trying to run away, they're trying to get out the facility. But that's really good to see that there was no hesitation, he just came to me. But we're gonna go down to 50, see if 55 gets us. Moose, come, tap. Good, because that was 72. There we go. And tap for the sit, tap. Tap, tap. Good boy. Break. I increased it. It's 64. He's leaving. Yeah, what's up? There's a hole in there, watch it. Yeah. Trying to say 65. Moose, come, tap. Good boy, 3 to 4 steps back. Hole right here. Tap for the sit. Yes, good boy. Good. Break. 2 more. Shh. Moose, come. Tap. 3 to 4 steps back. Hold right here. And, oh, he's got it. Good. This is far. I'm gonna give it a tap, see what he does. Tap. There we go. Tap. Hold right here. And it's a sit we need. Tap, tap. And good boy. Good, 1 more. Break. You're good. Shh. Hey. Shh. Last one. I was going to say Bill Murray. Moose, come, tap. Good, 3 to 4 steps back. And good boy. Good, we'll cap it here. So we just finished recall with Moose. So when you're gonna practice this, you can have the same setup. You have 2 people, or if you have I'm pretty sure you have a lot of open land. Put the long leash on him, let her run around, and then moose come, tap, moving backwards as well like that. The setup we did is unrealistic because no one calls their dog from a stationary position. It's usually when they're moving, running away, or doing some sort of movement. So keep using that long leash to make the command happen. Remember to move backwards because this is a visual, right? So if moose is out somewhere where it's loud maybe, and you're calling a moose come, you're tapping, he's not coming, but he sees you, he doesn't know what to do though, he's like laying down, or maybe he's just kind of moving around. He sees you, you start to move backwards, so you're tapping, he's like, oh, that's recall. And then he should make his way to you. Remember to do shh. Remember to do moose come tap, right? Reasons are if we're not doing moose come tap right now, in the future, if we didn't do it right, If he's off leash, he's smelling, Moose come, nothing's happening, we tap, but then what if Moose decides to come as soon as we tap? We're tapping too late. So two responses could happen. He could shut down, which means just lay down, or as he's coming this way, he gets tapped. He might think, oh, wrong way, and I'll turn, run the opposite way. So we're doing that now to create the confusion so that we can clarify that no matter what, you are still to come. And this is only going to be for a little bit in the beginning until we see some consistency. Once we see some consistency with recall and we're tapping, no matter what, he's still coming, we can stop that. So you can practice these two people. If you're by yourself, let him meander. You can recall him when he sees a squirrel, chases a squirrel, or he's about to get the squirrel up a tree or something like that. What you don't want to do is drill out too many times to the point where you bring him outside, you do recall like back to back every single day that he might not want to go out and kind of have his free time. He might just be too cautious, be like, well, you keep calling me every single time, so I'm just gonna stay here and just avoid that whole scenario. So mix it up. So like one day, do 2 recalls, the next day don't do any, the next day do 1 when you're about to leave the park or go inside or things like that. What else? Make sure to reel in your leash as he's coming to you. Spend a lot of time with this 30-foot long leash. So it's like the proofing stage, making sure everything, no matter what, he's still coming to you. We're at those. We got higher up in the numbers to kind of have a more of a immediate response. The common call is more faster in that way.